Everyone to Tips Tuesday. It's Social Media Tips Tuesday, but today, Rosemary, you and I are going to cover something not social media necessarily, but it does help our businesses. And it's how to take when to go low tech. When do we use these low tech devices? Devices, do you love that, Rosemary?
That's right. It's a device. It works.
Yes, it's a device, something that works. And, what are we talking about here? Give us some examples.
All right, well, I've got arrayed on my desk actually at this moment two different paper devices that I use every day, all day long. One is my beautiful Moleskine notebook, and I do different sizes this month. I usually go through one a month. Every day I kind of log my day, and I can go back to a certain date and know exactly what happened that day. And then I've also got the big kahuna. This is the back of my Freedom Mastery Planner. And every Sunday night, I go in and I do a detailed brain dump from the week before and plan the next week. And something about doing it on paper. I don't know if you do this too, Laura, but getting it from my brain onto paper just does something, and it makes me get more organized and remember what I did so much more. And I've tried digital planners before, but nothing has ever scratched that itch like my paper planner.
Oh my gosh, I love paper. Can I just say I love paper? I'm a high tech, person, love my tools. Always getting new ones every day, it seems like, and we have more to talk to you about, but not today. We're going to talk about these low tech things, post-it notes.
Yes.
Now, people beat themselves up for using this, but you know what? It's all good. Use it, but make sure you go through them. I love what you talked about for your notebook. I have a notebook here. When I'm on the phone with somebody, I don't want to be typing, but I know I listen better through writing. That's me. Most people maybe not. I picked this up at an event along the way. So, and I love what you do, where you date it and you put something in every day. I'm doing better with remembering to date things on here and also who I talk to and what this phone number is that I wrote down. So just getting a little bit more conscious on the note taking side. But it's like, when I need to write something down, it's all in one place. It's not now in a bunch of different notes. And if I do use a sticky note, a lot of times I'll put it on that page that I want to make a note about. And yet I want it. So there are, there are so many things. I have lists on my desk of, just that looks really messy, but it every so often I need something different. And that's how my brain works. And I'm embracing it instead of beating myself up about it. How about that? Wow.
Yes, and it lets you change scenery too. I think if you're glued to your computer all day and what your job is being online, something about taking that paper planner or the paper notebook and sitting somewhere else with it and writing something down shifts your mindset a little bit, and I think it gives you a fresh approach and kind of a way. Also, I'm a doodler, so occasionally doodles will creep into my little notebooks too. So there's that too.
Doodling and journaling. And so I love that idea that you were just saying about going, sitting somewhere and writing what you need to get out, or to organize your thoughts, or to get through something that triggered you in a way, or, got to you in a way. So, that's a whole set of notebooks I don't even have on this desk. Right?
Yeah, that's a different story, journaling. Cool.
And then there's that clutter that gets around that we need to start having a place for. So being organized with your files, that everything has a place, is really important. Knowing where you can put things, especially pre-filing them, meaning, do you have a place where there are things that need to be filed that you've stored? I'll even have sometimes help doing that. Get either an organizer in or an assistant in and have say, hey, we need to organize these receipts or whatever. And the receipts go here in the meantime. So they're not yet organized, but they're not all over the place either.
It's so funny. I was just listening to Dan Pink appearing on Tim Ferriss's podcast, and he mentioned ye old inbox for the paper ephemera and all those things that pile up. And it just sounds dated at this point, but I defy you to show me a person who doesn't have stacks of papers still around their office or around their desk. And if you've got it incoming in one place, then you can build into your routine, putting things where they belong and or getting rid of things, recycling things if you need to. it kind of clears your mind, I think, to deal with things one at a time like that.
Yep.
One other cool thing, like low tech to high tech, maybe we can talk about this more in depth at some point, but that now there are hybrid tablets and paper to digital things like Remarkable tablet and other cool technology that's coming along where you can still write in your, and I think there are actually Moleskines that are meant for this, where you can scan the page and it will suck it into, I think, Evernote or other things. So that's kind of a neat thing too. You're not really stuck in the paper world if that's a
Digital
problem.
paper.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, all kinds of tools. We'd love to hear, especially if you've been able to transition from a paper and you love it. Add it in here. We want to, it doesn't have to be low tech, but if it takes something low tech and makes it as easy as possible, and then you have it with you everywhere, that's really awesome. Last night I took a picture of one of my lists because I wanted to have it with me. So that's low tech to high tech, right? Versus high tech to low tech. And it's okay. It's really okay to be both and master it. And so like, even in my kitchen, this is really fun. I was taking a ceramics class. I decided to make like a little whiteboard for shopping list. And then you can't take that ceramic, I mean, maybe in the ancient caveman days to the store. No kidding.
Load it on your back.
Right. But it's kind of a whiteboard. And when I'm out of something, it's just much easier, especially if my hands are wet, to take a marker and write on a whiteboard than it is to take out my phone and type in, I need peanuts or whatever. Right. So I write it on there. And then before I go to the store, I take a photo. And if I forget, my husband's home, he takes a photo and texts it to me, or he adds to the list and texts it to me. So it's, just another hack there. So take pictures of what you're doodling in your, whether it's your post-it, this, if you want to take it with you. So problem solved if that was your excuse.
No
You love it, but
excuses.
you hate it. So
Bottom line, do what works for your brain and your flow.
now, at Social Buzz Club, where we put content out for you, a lot of times there's times you need to write. And with narrative, it's all about writing. Are there any tools that you recommend for writing help, either online or offline?
You mean for like ideas for writing
Yeah,
or?
or getting it done, just getting it done. Do you use your Moleskine for that? Do you have a separate notebook to jot ideas down for?
I do. I like to capture things on the fly all the time, and I do write them on the date they occurred to me. Sometimes I will put a little tab, I'll use a sticky note and put a tab when there's something I want to remember, an idea for something to write. We talked about this, I'll do voice notes on my phone on the fly while I'm driving down the highway. Remember to write about this. I think you got to capture them while they're in your head. I've
Right.
had friends though who even have things like those waterproof shower board things where you can write ideas on, because the best ideas come in the shower, right?
They do.
So that's another low tech
Or,
kind of
or
capture
go,
it in the
hey
moment.
Siri, make a note of this and keep your phone in the shower. That's
You
great.
have to just yell out, right?
Yeah. Hey Siri. It's like your assistant. That's great. Awesome. Well, I think this has been inspiring and a wonderful way to remind people that low tech is still super cool. Okay. And it can be super cool. And if you have super cool tools that you use that are low tech, pop them in the comment, because we'd love to know, uh, you know, what you're using and uh, how they're benefiting your business, your life, your personal life, like my shopping list hack, if you like that. It's decorative and, so it provides a purpose beyond just productivity, and it also helps us with our sanity. So that's what
Yes.
today is about.
We could start a sticky note aholic support group, I
Yes,
think.
we can. We can. In fact, there are things on Amazon you can get that you can put on the side of your monitors. They're like little lucite, and you can stick your stickies on them better. So
Oh,
if you
I
want to
need one
have
of
your
those.
your stickies on all around you, you can be surrounded by. So embrace the stickiness of
Embrace the sticky.
embrace your stickiness,
I
your
love it.
post-it stickiness. And we'll be back next week, perhaps with another edition of our social media Tips Tuesday. Anything you want to leave people with, Rosemary?
I would say embrace the sticky. That's my motto for today.
Brace the sticky. All right.
Have a
We
good
will
week,
do that.
everyone.
Have a great